my confident and honest Aries friend. Hello and welcome. My name is Mina, and I'm here to offer you a 3-card reading exploring the themes of you, your path, and your potential. I invite you to consider what the reading reveals about possible challenges, opportunities, and personal growth for the week ahead. Take a deep breath, rest your mind, and let's see what the cards have to share with you today. Let's begin this week together, Aries, as if we're sitting quietly in the same room. There's a particular restlessness in the air, isn't there? Something beneath your usual boldness feels unsettled. You might sense a pressure to have answers, even when clarity seems just out of reach. In quieter moments, you notice the pull between your instinct to act and a subtle longing for reassurance, a kind of internal friction. It could manifest as irritation, a desire to break routine, or even a soft ache for grounding. This tension doesn't demand to be resolved right away. Instead, it lingers, inviting you to notice what's stirring beneath the surface of your week. Behind the outward confidence, a small voice might be asking if you truly trust the path you're on, or if you simply crave the comfort of certainty. The feeling is not loud, but it's persistent, a gentle unease that makes you pause and question what you're truly seeking this time. You carry yourself with a sense of purpose, Aries, even when the world feels ambiguous. At the center of your experience this week is a desire to belong, to feel connected to something larger than your personal drive. The Hierophant shows up not as a distant authority, but as a call from within to find meaning in the structures around you. You may feel drawn to tradition, to shared values, or to the rituals that give shape to your days. There's comfort in familiar rhythms, yet also a quiet uncertainty. Maybe you find yourself looking to others for guidance, searching for a sign that you're doing things the right way. This can bring relief, but it can also amplify your inner tension when your authentic self doesn't fully align with the expectations you sense. Beneath your outward decisiveness, there's a softer yearning, a need for approval or validation that you might hesitate to admit. It's as if part of you wants to rest in what's already known, to be held by the wisdom of others, while another part resists, craving independence. You may notice flashes of frustration when your personal truth feels at odds with collective belief. Old stories about what you should do or who you should be might resurface, especially when you're tired or uncertain. Yet in this space something honest arises, a willingness to question. You might reflect on the roles you play, leader, friend, partner, and wonder where you truly fit. This week, your emotional posture is one of subtle inquiry. You are both participant and observer in your own life, seeking reassurance yet quietly aware that real security must come from within. It's a gentle, persistent tension, a longing for connection, tempered by the awareness that your own voice matters just as much as any tradition or external rule. This longing for meaning doesn't exist in a vacuum. The very act of seeking belonging creates a kind of friction. When you search for clarity or approval outside yourself, the gap between what you feel and what you think you're supposed to feel widens. The more you reach for certainty, the more you notice the edges of your own discomfort. This is where your inner state begins to shape the moving path ahead of you, subtly guiding the events and pressures that unfold. The tension between wanting to fit in and needing to stand apart becomes the backdrop for the choices you face and the currents that pull you, sometimes gently, sometimes forcefully, through the days ahead. As your week unfolds, Aries, you might sense the world pushing back, challenging your efforts to find ease. The devil enters your path not as a threat, but as a symbol of the pressures and patterns that demand your attention. You may find yourself caught in habits that once felt comforting but now seem to restrict you. Perhaps you notice how easy it is to slip into autopilot, repeating old routines, leaning on distractions, or seeking approval in ways that leave you feeling hollow. Temptations to numb, avoid, or escape might surface, especially when the weight of expectation grows heavy. There's a kind of momentum at play. The more you try to meet the standards you think are required, the more you feel confined by them. It's as if invisible chains tug at your energy, urging you to conform, even when your spirit resists. Conflicting desires, freedom and security, authenticity and acceptance, create an undercurrent of frustration or self-doubt. You might notice tension in your relationships, where unspoken agreements or familiar dynamics keep you stuck in roles you no longer want to play. There could be moments when you recognize the cost of keeping the peace or following the rules, especially if doing so means losing touch with what's real for you. These pressures are not always dramatic. Sometimes they show up as small choices, repeated over and over, that quietly shape your days. The friction is not a sign of failure, but a sign that something deeper wants your attention. This week, the path is full of reminders of the ways you give away your power, the ways you negotiate your needs, and the places where you've become too comfortable with discomfort. Each moment of tension is an invitation to see where you're bound by habit, where you're tempted to settle for less than what your heart truly craves. Yet, within this friction, there's a subtle turning point. The path doesn't end with pressure or repetition. Instead, it offers the possibility of awareness, a chance to notice what's happening as it happens. The potential for change doesn't come from resisting what you feel, but from allowing yourself to be present with it. When you consciously meet these patterns, when you recognize the difference between comfort and true alignment, you create the space for something new to emerge. It's not about erasing the tension, but about understanding its message. Your growth this week depends not on breaking free by force, but on seeing clearly what has held you back and choosing, moment by moment, to respond with honesty. Only then does the path open to deeper possibility. As the week deepens, a quieter invitation arrives. The moon emerges, casting gentle light on your inner landscape. Here, growth is subtle, unfolding in the space between certainty and doubt. You may find yourself drawn inward, paying closer attention to your instincts, dreams, and passing moods. The moon doesn't offer clear answers. Instead, it invites you to trust the wisdom that comes when you listen closely to yourself, even when things feel unclear. This is not a promise of immediate resolution, but an opening to explore what lies beneath the surface. You might notice subtle shifts, a new willingness to sit with uncertainty, or a gentle curiosity about feelings you once tried to avoid. The world feels softer, less defined, and in that softness you sense the possibility of real change. Growth this week is not about conquering fear or rushing toward clarity. It's about allowing yourself to live in the ambiguity, to honor your emotional truth, and to let intuition have a say. You may find new insights surfacing in quiet moments, or a sense of peace in simply accepting what you cannot yet explain. The moon's invitation is to be with yourself as you are, to trust that even in confusion there is wisdom. The potential here is subtle but profound, a chance to become more at home with your own complexity, to recognize that your feelings are valid even when they don't fit the story you expected. In this gentle light, you begin to see that uncertainty is not a flaw, but a doorway to deeper understanding. All three moments, your longing for connection, the pressures that test your resolve, and the invitation to trust your inner knowing, are woven together this week. The Hierophant's call for meaning and belonging leads you to examine the habits and patterns brought by the devil, and in facing them, you discover the quiet possibilities illuminated by the moon. Each card reflects a stage of your own unfolding, the need for reassurance, the struggle with what binds you, and the courage to listen to what's underneath it all. There is no need to rush, no need to force clarity where it hasn't yet arrived. Instead, the week offers a gentle reassurance. You are allowed to question, to doubt, to seek comfort and also to break away from old roles. The tension you feel is not an obstacle, but a sign that you care deeply about living authentically. Each moment of unease is an opportunity to listen more closely, to honor your own truth, and to trust that even the most confusing feelings have something to teach. Whatever unfolds, know that you are not alone in your questions, and that the path forward is shaped as much by your willingness to feel as by your actions. By the end of the week, there is a softening, a sense that it's safe to be both searching and self-assured, both uncertain and quietly brave. The journey is not about arriving at certainty, but about learning to walk with yourself kindly and honestly each step of the way. Actionable insights for Aries this week. You might try giving yourself permission to pause before reacting, just to notice what you're feeling. It could feel grounding to spend a few minutes each day reflecting on what truly matters to you, apart from others' expectations. There's value in letting yourself be uncertain, without rushing to resolve it. Spoken word affirmations to repeat aloud for a more positive mindset. I notice what I feel without judgment. I let old patterns speak and I listen. I honor my questions as much as my answers. By the end of this week, I trust myself more. And now, dear friend, I thank you for giving me your time. I truly hope I have given you something helpful in return. Goodbye and good luck until next time.